Hi friends, it's Dee Preshun and welcome back to my YouTube channel. You may notice something a little bit different about me. This new wig, this new jewelry. This jewelry and this wig are courtesy of my best friend. And I styled this wig because I wanted more of like a mullet type look. So here she is in all of her glory. And I am living for this jewelry. So thanks, bestie. I love you. Today is another episode of Dee's Dragula Digest. We are digesting episode 3 of season 4. And whew, this week, fucking insane, right? Oh my gosh. So before we get into episode 3, let's just recap episode 2 just a little bit, because episode 2 had some twists and turns that we did not expect. So the theme for episode 2 was the Nosferatu beach party, which I thought was the coolest theme for an episode. I really, really loved it. Some of the looks that they came up with were really, really cool, really creative. I wish that I had time to cover that episode in more detail, but it's okay because episode 3 was like, here's episode 2, here's episode 3. So it's okay. Episode 2 had its time. But episode 2, we welcomed Dolly back into the competition, which was so exciting. I have always loved Dolly. And honestly, I really thought that Dolly was going to win Resurrection. Obviously, I'm pleasantly surprised that Saint won, but I really thought that Dolly was going to win. So I was very pleasantly surprised that they brought Dolly back as well. Very happy to see her back into the competition. For the challenge with the Nosferatu Beach Challenge, Saint won that with the most beautiful look. Oh my gosh, I absolutely adored her look. Those little sunglasses that she was wearing, I need them. I need the little Batwing sunglasses. I love them. And then unfortunately, Astrid and Betty were up for extermination. Their extermination challenge was to put their arms into leech-infested waters, which, in my opinion, is really not that severe of an extermination challenge. I myself have had leeches all over my body in the past, and leeches are really not that painful. But unfortunately, Astrid was exterminated and Betty was able to continue into the competition. So now that we've kind of recapped episode 2, let's get into episode 3, which is what we are here for today. Let's talk about that intro skit. I was a little disappointed by it, especially because the first 2 episodes, the intro skits were just like a lot of fun. Like, they were really cute, and I was disappointed by the intro skit of episode 3. There was a lot of dead air in the acting, and the acting just wasn't up to par with what it's been in the past. I did like how it led into the extermination for the end of the episode. I did like that. So then we go to the boudoir, and the girls are kind of kikiing with each other, trying to figure out who is it that got to return to the competition and who is it that got exterminated. Obviously, everybody is of the idea that Astrid got exterminated, except for Joso, obviously. Joso and Astrid have their little thing going on. So obviously Joso is a little biased. Joso was very adamant that Astrid just had this fire that Betty didn't. And everyone else was just like, there's a difference between having a fire for the competition and being unprofessional. And Astrid's fire just turned into unprofessionalism, which I have to agree with. Like, it just, you could tell that she just really wanted to be there, but there was a line that was crossed that just turned into unprofessionalism, where she was pointing the finger at everyone else, and it just wasn't cute. So I have to agree with everyone else. I know that obviously Joso is biased because of this crush that she has on Astrid, but Then Betty walks back into the room and everyone's excited to see her, obviously, except for Joso. But they do have that little moment where Joso kind of explains that, you know, this is just how I feel. And Betty's like, you know what? I understand. Like, you feel how you feel, but I'm back, bitch, and I'm here to stay. And she did prove that she is here to stay with this look that she presented for her floor show, but we'll get into that later. Then all of the contestants go to the main stage and the Boulets announce that the challenge for this week is the Weird Wild West. So it's got to incorporate some sort of, obviously, Western aspect, but it's also got to be sci-fi and kind of horror as well. So there's got to be a lot of different aspects to their looks. And I think the Boulets were expecting a lot out of them, especially because their looks last week just kind of, they weren't really like knock out of the park kind of look. So I think they were really expecting greatness from all of them this week, and they really served it up. And the winner of the challenge this week got $1,000 from Fright Rags, which was really, really awesome. So then everybody heads back to the boudoir, and Mary, being the drama queen that has to make everything about herself, decides that she's not going to be a part of the group conversation, and actually Zavalata, of everybody, goes over to comfort her, and it's just like, what's going on? And Mary's just like, you know, I'm just feeling kind of overwhelmed. I've just been safe every week, and I'm tired of being safe. Like, I don't know what to do. And Zavalata was there to encourage her and be like, bitch, you just gotta do it. Like, you just gotta try your hardest, like, put your best out there, and if they don't like it, then maybe it's your time to go. You know? So as they're going around kind of explaining their looks and what they're inspired by, all of this kind of stuff, Zavalata kind of, we have a breakthrough moment with Zavalata where we realize why she is the way that she is. And we come to find out that her sister passed away from cancer and had to take care of her sister's newborn baby for a long time before her sister passed away. And that was something that, as a 13-year-old kid, like, that was a lot to handle. You had to grow up really fast. So when you hear that story, the kind of person that Zavalata is makes sense. And I understood from the very beginning that that's probably what happened with Zavalata, is that something made her grow up really fast, or her environment made her grow up really fast, where she had to be the bitch, where she had to be the strong one. And that's exactly what happened. Then we cut to the next day where they are officially getting ready for the floor show, and everyone is quiet. And of course, Mary takes this opportunity to make the moment about herself and start sharing this story, where she continues on and on and on, sharing this story that literally nobody is listening to. Oh, hello, Aldo. You coming out to say hi? He just turned right around and said, nope. He's hiding in his shell, but that's Aldo. It's my roommate's tortoise. And now we get to my favorite part of the show, the floor show. So, as I said with my last episode, I really love how the Boulets are almost part of the floor show this season and how they get to really perform their looks. This week's look was amazing. Not quite my favorite look that they've ever worn, but I really did like it. It was very sci-fi. I really liked how their wigs were different colors in the front. I like how they're kind of journeying out into, like, not always wearing the same costume all the time, or, you know, adding some just like little differences in their costumes like that. It is very much their brand, but I like that they're starting to branch out. And we did see that in the skit at the beginning of the episode. Swan was wearing something different from Drac, and I really liked that. And I hope that they do more of that continuing on in the future. And the guest judges this week were Trixie Mattel and Orville Peck, and I was so excited. Obviously, I'm sure you can tell by my makeup that I am very much inspired by Miss Trixie. Trixie is one of my favorite drag queens. Not just because she's super popular, but I relate to Trixie a lot, and I obviously very much love Orville Peck. Absolute icon. love Orville Peck. So first up in the floor show was Bitter Betty, and she was very much inspired by the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, kind of like Dolly Parton, but also very much inspired by the Terminator. And she comes out just looking amazing, first of all, but this performance was the best performance that she's given thus far. And I think the Boulets said it very well, where like the first 2 episodes she was very much just like in her head, but when she came out, it was just like, I don't know who this woman is anymore. Like, this is amazing. Like, this is the woman that I wanted to see from the beginning. Like, this is an incredible performance. How she was using the gun as a guitar, and like she was kind of like performing in part of it, and then she was also just like like, it was amazing. I absolutely lived for it. I loved her performance. So good. Next up was Coco, who was this like pig woman. I wasn't really sure what the concept was. Like, I got the whole, like hoeing around and being the pig, but I didn't really get how that fit into the weird Wild West. Yeah, it just wasn't a very clear concept. And, like, the smoke coming out of her nose, like, it just, I don't know, it just was very all over the place. And I think the judges said it very well. Like, it seemed like it was 3 looks that she kind of combined into one, and none of them really made sense going together. But I mean, it was an interesting look. Like, it was cool. I really liked it. Did it make sense for the challenge? No. But it's a cool look. I did like it. But it did not make sense for the challenge at all. Next, we had Zavalata, who was inspired by Emiliano Zapata, who started the revolutions in Mexico, and oh my god. Well-deserved win for this one, because the gender bending, like, when he walked out, like, holding his crotch and had that, like, arm gun, just, like, had the hat kind of tilted down and just, like, feeling his oats, bitch. I was like, yes! Like, that is the performance that we want to see from Zavalata. That is it. And, like, we saw a good performance from Zavalata last week, but, like, to see a solo performance like that from Zavalata this week, absolutely well-deserved win. The look was amazing from head to toe. Performance was amazing from beginning to end. Absolutely loved it. Absolutely well-deserved win. Then we have Miss Sigourney, the queen of a reveal. She was very much inspired by Mugler, and she did this kind of like Wild West coat that was blue and had stars all over it, and she takes that off to reveal her favorite color, gold, apparently. I really loved it. She's really great at doing a reveal. It is kind of like her trademark at this point, and I do love that. However, I didn't really feel like the look was that great. Like, I kept feeling like it was very much like I said with the last episode and her performance in episode 1, where it was like the performance is here, like it's amazing, but the looks just they're just not quite there. And I think Trixie said that I didn't even notice that she had like scaling and stuff all over her body. Like, I did not even notice that until judging, when she was like really up close. And I think Trixie was right. If she had done like really dark scaling where you could really see it, I think it would have made a lot of difference. But yeah, I just really feel like her performance is always here, like she always gives it, but her looks just always are just under that performance quality. Next up was Saint, who did a literal cowboy. I actually really liked this look. It was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, the performance, like the Boulets said, was just very lackluster. Just not a lot of movement. But yeah, I just didn't really feel a lot from that performance. I really loved the look. I loved it a lot. And I think if she had really sold the look, that she probably wouldn't have been up for extermination. Next up we had Jade, and she did this kind of glow-in-the-dark alien a warrior? I don't know. Like, I don't know what exactly the concept was. I definitely got that she was supposed to be some sort of alien. I really liked the glow-in-the-dark aspect of the look. But the kind of like taking the hat off of that little head that she had on the spike and like throwing just like slime out of it, I just thought like one piece of slime was just a little boring, you know? Like if it had been like a legitimate brain or something, like I think that would have been cool. Or if like she had eaten the brain, like I think that would have been sickening. But it was just like a piece of slime and she just threw it, and it just kind of, it wasn't that impressive to me. Next we had Dolly, who did this like post-human alien bounty hunter that I absolutely adored. I love Dolly because if you remember from season 2 when they did their apocalyptic looks, this was one of the looks that I really loved that Dolly did that season as well. So I feel like Dolly does really great apocalyptic, like sci-fi kind of looks very well, and proved that this episode as well. Unfortunately, Dolly does have a tendency to do very well but not win, and I'm really hoping that Dolly gets a win sometime this season, because Dolly definitely deserves that. Next was Mary. I almost don't even want to talk about this look because I'm so mad that she was even safe. Because when it zoomed in and was like close up on her face and you saw how busted that eye makeup was, I was like, why is this bitch safe? Why do the Boulets keep saving her? Because the Nosferatu fish look that she did, huh? And now this, like if you compare her to everyone else on that stage, the level of talent is here compared to everybody else. Like, I don't understand how she continues to be safe. Lastly, we had Joso Teratoma, who did like an alien cactus kind of look, which was okay. It almost looked like a science project or like an art project. I'm so sorry, Joso. Like, I thought the concept was really cool, but it definitely was not the best look that she's ever put together. It looked very haphazard, and I'm wondering if that had something to do with the fact that Astrid was not there anymore and her head was just not in it fully. But I gotta say, like, girl, you gotta get your head back in the game because you've got too much talent to piss it away. So after deliberation, the judges decided that Saint and Coco were going to be up for extermination, and the extermination challenge was bull riding. However, not just Saint and Coco were going to be part of the extermination challenge. Everybody was going to be part of the extermination challenge. It was interesting. Mary couldn't even get on the fucking bull. After they get off stage and they go over to the cauldron and they start talking about, you know, judging and how everything went, they congratulate Zavalata on her win, and then Saint starts to get upset, saying that she's very upset that she has to go up against Coco for this extermination, knowing that one of them is going to have to go home. Because her and Coco are very dear friends. And they both talked about how it's hard because the two of them have worked really hard to be where they are. And, you know, visibility is very important for, you know, being Black in this type of community. And of course, Mary had to make it about herself, where she was like, you know, I'm Black too, like, hello. But everybody in that room knew, like, your level of talent is not the same as theirs. Like, you don't even compare to them. Like, just shut up and sit down. Like, like, we see you, we hear you, but sit down. In the end, Coco was exterminated, unfortunately. I don't agree with that. I think that Coco had a bad week, but she still had so much more to give. I think that there are other people in the competition, Mary, that deserve to go home this week, based off the looks that they have given in the past and the look that they gave this week. Yeah, I'm not happy that Coco went home. I think that she had so much more to give. So, I just gotta say that next week, if Mary is not up for extermination, I'm going to be very upset. Well, that's all I have for this week for Dee's Dragula Digest. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment down below for videos that you guys want to see in the future besides doing this Dragula series. If you guys want to see me review other shows, definitely let me know. I am up to doing whatever you guys want to see. I did get a request to do my skincare routine, so hopefully that will be coming up soon. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys have a wonderful night or day wherever you are in this beautiful, wonderful world that we live in. And I hope to see you guys in my next video. Goodbye. Mwah!